And dear friends, today I want to give a presentation based on the article that I have written for this conference, and the title is Gender Fair Language, the Nascent Emergence for Gender Equity. As the feminist, a lot many things I have skipped and cut short, so slides will be suggestive and certain points from the paper I'll be making. The paper is having this conference track: Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, Trust Area, Gender Equity, New Varieties of English Language. And the contents are as follows: abstract introduction, language and gender. What is language? Gendered language. Then second point is language and socio-economic outcome of gender power struggle. Gender fair language. Fourth point is gender fair language, rationale behind its evolution, Marxist framework of GFL, and need for change and positive impacts of gender fair language. Gender fair language for linguistic gender equity, the right choice, the right tool to realize gender rights. This point comes as the conclusion of the conclusions and observations, and finally references. So abstract, I would not read all. I would read this part. As the feminist movement marched on from first wave to second wave, and from second wave to third wave, various attempts to influence the morphological glossary structure of English language and induct newly devised gender fair vocab were made ceaselessly. At the threshold of 21st century, the quest for gender fair language has emerged as one pivotal development to challenge the very masculine construct of language by attacking the traditionally established norms. The present study attempts to investigate these emerging phenomena and identify various factors contributing to the birth, growth, and development of gender fair language, which indisputably remain one of the nascent emerging variants and varieties of English. Key terms: gender fair language, new varieties of English, gender neutral language, feminizing language, etc. Then C.L. Rain, I would like to quote here only. C.L. Rain appropriately summed his observations on psychological, physiological and socio-cultural dynamics of the human language as the natural human growth, partly mental, partly physical. It flows, therefore, that it never ceases to change, but is continuing development in a constant state of flux. In the book Formal Letters, writer describes that conveying one's emotion, thoughts and desires effectively has been fourth basic need for after food, shelter and clothing. Probably the same factors have been the root cause of emergence of human language, which in future became the most powerful and pivotal tool for communicating human experiences. Moving forward to, I would like to come to the next point, the gendered language. And in her book, Man-Made Language, Australian feminist Del Spender examines numerous areas of sexism as it appears in nature and in the use of English language, with particular focus on the way man and women talk and listen differently in couples and in mixed or single-sex groups. How men have historically constructed the language, how the word man is used to refer to both men and the species, like man is mortal. If I am telling man is mortal, it is not like that women immortal or other species are immortal. How God is always seen as male, because in pronouns use, if you look at the language use of pronoun, you will realize that H for he, if it is referring to God, is capital. But never ever you will find S for she, even if it is referring to the goddess, written as capital. And as male, how intercourse is described as penetrative, means like culture. Language too had its role in formation of thought patterns and viewpoints of a person. Further, it is well acknowledged that language is an inseparable part of culture that inherits artifacts of a particular culture and expresses its various aspects. I would not like to go into detail of this, but here the heading language and socio-economic outcome of gender power struggle. And in that gender power struggle, we come to this point where male is written deliberately as bold, female little, and transgender even in the lesser font, because just to make it clear that this is the social hierarchy emerging here. And what about these transgenders? Their existence in language, if in English you will look, third person pronoun, what is in pronoun? So in the deeper aspect of the grammar, he for male, she for female, but for them there is no word. So that is, last year I visited Oxford University and attended a training and workshop over there. And we were taught that they are experimenting, instead of using baby as it has male connotation, they are using third person pronoun they, be. And that is the new experiment in language going on. And then gendered language, here these are the attempts for gender fair language, gender inclusive language, and even gender neutral language. Gender fair language, it emerged in the year 1970, and then there comes Government of India, NCTE, gave three main points, 2002-2018. Their first guidelines for gender fair language is there. I will not go in detail because of the paucity of time. Statement on gender and language that came in 2018, revised, and then finally here are certain findings for gender fair language. And if you, here is the message, if you want happiness for a lifetime, help the next generation.
Could we talk about finding slide?
Yes. In a nutshell, adopting, accepting, assimilating GFL will definitely widen and further the psychological, personal, socio-cultural and professional horizons. In the era of spearheading competitiveness on the rapid pacing track of information superhighways and to touch upon the ultimate professional journey, the netizens, cyber citizens will have to practice